Well, I'm glad you brought that up. So, the advice that I would give young musicians is to try hard as possible to serve an apprenticeship with players that are older than you, that know more than you, and to work as long as possible in an apprenticeship situation, and then get your own group and your own band. And I think that's less possible or less visible now than it was when I was learning how to play, and even before me. That was just the way things were done. If you had any talent at all, you would join and be with a person that knew more than you, usually older, and you worked with that person, and you learned, and it was more than one. The farther back you go, and when you examine the biographies and histories of great players, let's say Charlie Parker, for instance. Charlie Parker worked with several people. He was ready to play very early on, but he worked with Earl Hines, he worked with Noble Sissle, he worked with Cootie Williams, he certainly worked with Jay McShann, and that was the way it was done. You worked with a lot of different people, and then you got your own record date as a leader and your own band. And that is kind of a danger now for young players to fall in that particular trap, is because if they are talented enough and young enough, quite often they are, how would you say, they're they get record dates early on, they get their own group early on, and that's a good thing on one part of that. But not learning from older players and being involved with them, working with them, and several, basically they're doing a disservice, whether they know it or not. A disservice is being done. So I would try, they should actually try to do that. And that's hard to do these days in a way, but they should certainly listen to older players, listen to old records, so that they understand the continuity of the music. Well, in terms of being influential, as far as I'm concerned, I, there are young saxophone players, and maybe most particularly alto players that might like me, and that's very, very flattering for a person, for a player, to be respected by younger players. So, and I probably have been influential to some degree to a lot of players, maybe alto players, and that's a very nice feeling.
Mm-hmm. What about some of the people that you've directly mentored? People who've
Mm-hmm.
played in your bands. I mean, not just sax players, but just
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
that you feel like you've sort of taken under your wing over the years.
Okay. Well, people that I've taken under my wing, to use that term, I've played with, like I live in San Diego now, so there's a young trumpet player that's actually worked on this boat a few times, Gilbert Castellanos. He lives in San Diego, as I, and so we work together. I'm a little older than he, so I would say that he was a person that I've taken under my wing. My son, Chuck, is a drummer. Jeb Patton, the pianist that I'm working with now. These are people that I think I'm influential to some degree, and have been informing to them in some way. Okay, Charles McPherson.